All right, a new electric car commercial. Mercedes-Benz released this one for their all-electric EQC, which I, as you know, a big fan of. I've driven this one, ridden in this one, seen it and reported this a few times. Of course, I'm very disappointed. It's not coming to the United States for another year. I already have a video on my channel from a few days ago where I've complained and cried about it, but nothing we can do. This video is obviously this commercial is for the rest of the world where they're going to be selling it at first. Well, really Europe. And by the way, if you enjoy electric car news, don't forget to hit on that subscribe button. And if you already have, boom, hit that bell notification icon as well, so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so you know, this commercial is either genius or extremely stupid. I really don't know which one it is. Could it be both? So let's go over this. I will play this commercial for you, and we'll talk about it. Now, it's interesting that this commercial is featuring the Grammy Award winning artist The Weeknd. That's right, it has a "the" in its name, but also don't whip out your spell check just yet. It is missing the letter E. And that is the correct spelling of his name, which I find. Anybody else sees the irony here that the commercial for an electric car for the EQ series has the guy missing the letter E in his name? You know, E, that stands for electric. E for electric. Sounds kind of catchy. Anyway, so that I thought that was already ironic. And then before we get to the video, the description of the video also has something that I'm not really sure they should have put in there. Here it says the Mercedes-Benz all-new EQC 400 4MATIC provides an impressive range. Yeah, it's got a good range. Again, I recommend this car. It has a 2 in front of it, 200 plus miles, and I think it's more than enough for most people. Like I said, my last Tesla Model S had 160, 170 miles in range. It was a 60 kilowatt hour, and I never had range anxiety, so this is good. But this is not impressive, right? Impressive right now would be 400, 500 miles. It's half of the impressive. It's impressive. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I would remove that from the description of the video. So, but let's get to the video, and it starts pretty chill. As you can see, he walks up to his phone. Now, it looks like his car was completely discharged by the time he got to work, but now it's fully charged. Great. He walks by with his kids, and this is the first line. There we go. Nice building.
Whoa, you drive electric?
So, all right, so that's the setup, right? The kid basically asks him, oh, you drive electric? And I think this is a great setup for so many different variations of what this video could have been. That would be awesome, right? Because here is their idol. I mean, I'm assuming, I never heard of this guy, but okay, he is a popular artist. You know, I'm assuming that kid knew that, and he was surprised that this cool guy, you know, drives an electric car. And I think that's a great setup. But then the commercial goes in kind of a different way. By the way, this is a long version of the commercial. There's a shorter versions as they usually do it, and there's a boring part that I'll fast forward to. And I also got to say that his song that's featured here called Blinding Lights, I can't play it just because of YouTube rules and stuff like that. It is a very catchy song, I have to say. As I was working on cutting this video, I was actually kind of got into it, and I played for myself a few times while driving around today. So check it out and see if you like it. But I have to cut it out, just the sound. But the commercial, it doesn't take anything away from the commercial, okay? Now, all right, so here we go. And now check this out, right? And then I find this ironic too. It just says features depending on market availability, which means there are 0 features in this market of North America, where we were hoping to get all of these features, or maybe even half of these features. And I'm still upset about this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still upset about this. I know that they're essentially making the compliance car for the European market, where the governments require much stricter limits on pollution, and good for them. Sucks for us. We obviously haven't been very good on that. But it is what it is. So they decided to make all these cars first for Europe, and we just kind of being left in the dust and in the smoke, really. All right, now, so let's go on with the commercial. Before that, I gotta insert my own commercial here and remind you that this video on this channel is sponsored by Weeknd. Check out their all-electric SUV, which I am looking forward to. It's coming to the US and Europe in 2021. Don't forget to reserve one, so you're not at the end of a very long line. I mean, it kind of is already kind of long, but takes only about a minute to fill out the quick application. It takes $0 to reserve yours. So go to the description of this video and reserve your Weeknd today. All right, so let's go on to the commercial, and this is where it gets interesting, because essentially as this car goes almost kind of like in the past, it shows some of the iconic Mercedes cars. All these little episodes that they have is kind of, I have to say, weird. I have a watch like that, by the way, for my grandpa. No, seriously, I have a watch like that. You know, so okay, it goes on. Again, the episodes are kind of weird, and it goes through the reality now with the EQC, and then what goes back. Whoa, wait, what was that? Hold on, go back. Is that the burning gasoline coming out of tailpipe? It is. It's a burning gasoline coming out of the tailpipe in the video for an electric car. So this is a little bit weird, I have to say. I wouldn't do that. I understand they're featuring the gasoline cars of the past, but just not something that should appeal to people who are looking for a clean car. Hopefully it doesn't happen again for the rest of the video. And by that I mean it will, of course, will definitely happen. So let's keep watching. And it's, you know, it's nicely done. It's almost done like a little bit of a movie. And it goes between the future. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they did it again. That is the smoke and burning oil on the face of this nice lady there, reminding us once again that we're not at all in an electric car commercial. Okay, so this is just, I would not say weird, but I don't think they understand the appeal, I think, that this commercial should. I would put birds and nature and many other things, you know, kids breathing freely, like stuff like that in a commercial, but not much of the smoke and oil and okay, all right, okay. Let me know if you feel the same way in the comment section, because I'm literally like lost for words. So now I gotta say, I'm gonna fast forward through a lot of this. As you can see, all of this trip through the memory lane continues. It goes back and forth from the EQC and these bizarre things with the weddings and robberies, and feature more iconic Mercedes cars, which is great, because, you know, this is all going to come down to essentially, of course, there's a love segment there. Essentially, it's going to come down to the last moment, the last line. And this is where I'm kind of wondering, and this is where I kind of like it, but also kind of hate it. So here we go.
What do you mean? I drive a Mercedes.
So, and then it goes into this, the end of the video. And again, I can't play the music, unfortunately. So, is this amazingly genius or absolutely totally stupid? Now, obviously, featuring the burning oil and all of that stuff is just a little stupid. But, you know, the manufacturer, the legacy manufacturers especially, they really cannot compete with Tesla. Let's be honest, right? They cannot compete with Tesla in, you know, range. They cannot compete with Tesla in many other ways. But there are some ways how they can compete with Tesla and can do things better. Because yes, when you buy a Mercedes, and I'm kind of talking about all the legacy manufacturers, we can talk about Audi and Porsche and so forth. You're buying something that Tesla doesn't really have. For example, you know, build quality. Luxury. They know how to build luxurious vehicles inside. Not that Tesla failed at it, because I don't think they were trying to make a luxurious cars here, but Mercedes, you know, people love luxury, and I gotta tell you, as I drove and rode in this one a few times, it's a true Mercedes luxury. I absolutely love it. Build quality is great, and of course, you know, customer service, all these service centers, you know how a Mercedes will treat you at their dealerships, at their service centers, so forth. So these are the things that I would feature in a commercial if I was a legacy manufacturer brand that has a good car. This is a good car. They just cannot essentially compete with Tesla in many categories, even though some of these categories may not matter to people in practicality. Like, you know, again, I believe anything over 200 mile range is just acceptable, and that's it. with maybe 10% of people being an exception, but that means 90% of people this would work. So I would feature that. Now and that's what they're trying to communicate here, right? Porsche did the same thing, that essentially what you're getting here is not an electric car. That's kind of a secondary. You're essentially getting a Mercedes, and when somebody asks you, like, oh, you're driving a weird electric car, I thought you were cool, and apparently you're not. But in the US, it's like, dude, I'm not even looking at it this way. I don't care if I'm driving electric or gas. I'm here to drive a Mercedes. On one hand, I have to say this is a great proposition for them, because essentially, again, it comes with all of these things that people assume, rightfully so, about Mercedes. But on the other hand, you know, this kind of concedes to the fact that, oh, electric car, you know, that shouldn't matter. That's not really a point here, but it is. It should be. Right? I mean, there are so many other features that, you know, this particular Mercedes has that a lot of the gasoline cars don't, but I guess then they're competing with themselves, and this is where the whole dilemma lies with the legacy manufacturers. So, but hey, they have this commercial out. You know, I don't think we're going to see it here in the United States on television, because they pulled this car from the market for the entire year. But if you guys are in Europe and see this commercial, let me know what you think. Of course, feel free to watch it on YouTube and rock on. Well, yeah, I don't think you can rock to that. I think you can dance like this to that song, but that's it. And that's how I drove today, all day like this, because it was a catchy song. By the way, I want to thank all of you guys watching me on live on Patreon. Of course, my Patreons who contribute to this show, to the success of the show. I'm a full-time YouTuber, so this is how I put bread on my table. Thank you so much for supporting me. You all get to watch me live with just $5 a month contribution, so I really appreciate it. You can contribute less or more, it's up to you. Go to the description of this video and you can check that out as well. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead, the button is right there. If you have, boom, bell notification icon, that way you will always know when I am doing some of the news segments right here, and interviews and so forth. All right. Looking forward to your comments. Let me know what you think about this commercial. Is it genius or stupid, or both? All right. Looking forward to that. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.